So today I'm actually going to be starting a different project, all on the ongoing project, which is my 73 Javelin AMX. Today though, I'm going to be attempting to take the door panels off. I really don't have any idea on how these come off exactly. I do believe I'm going to have to take the actual handles and crank off in order to get the whole panel off, but I'm wanting to do that so I can get it off and start prepping it to paint it so these can all be the same color. I'm probably at some point going to take all the dash pad stuff off and do the same with that, but that will be for a different day. The one thing I don't know what I'm going to do about is, sorry it's dark in here, but I don't know what I'm going to do with the steering column. I don't know if I'll end up painting that also, or if the stuff that I have would even work for that. So that's another thing. The one thing I'm pretty certain about now is I'm not going to use this factory console and shifter. I found a different shifter. It's with the company Kilduff Machine. They actually did the shifter for my Challenger. I can show you that real quick. They make this shifter. It basically has the same functionality as a factory shifter. It just separates it. So this is like all your regular gears, and then this is kind of like a, I mean, it acts like a ratchet shifter, sort of. It's just, you know, downshifting and then upshifting, pulling it back. But anyways, they make that shifter. And they make one that will work for a Javelin that's actually somewhat similar in style. It uses the horseshoe style shifter, if you want to call it that. But they make a shifter that comes with a console that has better functionality than this console. And this console isn't in great shape. I mean, I'm sure I could fix it up, make it look nicer, paint it and all that, which I might do at some point, honestly. But for the time being, I think it makes more sense to go with the aftermarket one, which also has a ratcheting function in it. So, you know, it's more of that kind of like poor man's pro touring style, which is kind of what I'm going after right now. I'm gonna try to pop these panels off and see how lucky I am with that, and maybe clean them up a little bit, get them ready for paint. Okay, so I got the panel off. This is the protective stuff that's doing a great job protecting, as you can see. It's basically falling off, which is fine, because it's gonna go bye-bye. It's basically useless. I found a dead mouse up here when I was pulling it off. I'll pop a little picture of that up there. That was pretty cool. I think it looks okay. I'm gonna take a closer look down in here to see if there's any kind of rot starting and all that. I might take a look at some of the window stuff down here, see if I can, I don't know, maybe make some adjustments. I know it's pretty loose. I'm not really sure how much I can do about that right away, but I'll take a look at it nonetheless. There's a couple little things that got me caught up for a second as far as the small parts go. One thing I already knew about was this, which is the piece that goes inside of the actual little handle thing here. But that's not too hard to figure out. Got that sorted out, and then I was looking in the manual how to actually get this off. It was way easier than I thought it was, because you basically just it goes in here like that, and you kind of like just pull it back, and there's a little screw you can see right here that you loosen up and it comes right off. This just twists off like most cars, so it actually wasn't too bad. There's a couple little things, like there's like little I don't even know what you call it. Like, these are kind of just like little clips that go into spots on the back of the panel to kind of keep it little fastened better. Those basically just pop out, so that wasn't too bad. But you will notice these are two distinct different pieces. That's why they are different colors. They basically use different kinds of plastic, so they age differently. Like, you can see under here where the sun never really touched it, it's almost the same color as what's right here. Interesting enough. So this stuff, I'm gonna kind of take a closer look at it and see. I think that it's probably just glued on there. I'm gonna find out for sure before I start trying to rip it all off. But I'll probably try to take this off and this off, if for no other reason than I just want to make sure that the paint is good on these cracks and stuff around the inlays here. So I'm gonna just get it off of there as best I can. Hopefully I don't break anything. Same thing with this, probably the little ring around where the door lock goes. And I'm probably gonna take off this little pad separately too. It just kind of, I believe it just basically slides on the plastic here. So I'll probably just pry that loose and take that off so I can make sure I got good coverage on that too. But yeah, I mean, it might not be that much work really, just getting this prepped up, and if I can get it clean really good and dry, I might be able to paint today? Question mark? I don't really know if I'm gonna have enough time to do that, but I do think that I can get this pretty much prepped for the next time I come here to actually paint it. So before even diving into the other side, which is pretty much the same except for the side mirror remote adjuster thingamajig. So I'll pop that off probably after I figure out what I'm gonna do with these. But I obviously have quite a bit that I need to get loose. I want to do the rear panels back there. I'm not sure how far I'm gonna go with this, because this would actually need to come out too. I don't know what you call this. It's kind of loose. You know, 70s quality build stuff. I might actually take the visors off too. They look pretty nasty, and I don't think that would be too difficult to take off and, you know, scrub it down a little bit. I also have to take off these panels here, on the column. I'm gonna take these. I think I'm gonna need one more can of spray paint, pretty sure. But I kind of want to just do this one and just test it out and just see how I feel about it, you know? I don't want to take apart the whole interior and then get to the point where I start spray painting just this first one and I'm like, this looks like crap, and I don't want to do that. Because I think one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to spray it with that, I think they call it camel interior paint. I'm going to do that, see what it looks like, and kind of, you know, just mock it up, put it on the door, just see how I feel about it. And if it's not really what I was envisioning or what I'm wanting to do, then I might just end up just going black on the whole thing. Maybe just do black door panels, black everything, and I don't know, we'll come back to this dash, but this is gonna be the real work. Taking all this dash stuff off and, you know, making sure that it's painted right. It's gonna be pretty difficult, especially with the switches over here. I can almost guarantee you these are gonna break when I try to take them off. That's something I need to think about. And it might just be such a pain in the ass that I just decide to do everything except for the dash and just kind of live with it and see how I feel about it. Let's see if we can get this ready and get some paint on it, man. I mean, pretty much no matter what I do, it's gonna look better than how it was before, so there's that. Okay, so now I got all the stuff off the actual door, which you've already seen, and I got all the stuff off of the panels themselves. So now there's no other little trim pieces. Like there was the little trim ring around where the door lock is, took that off, took off the inlays and everything. I even separated this from the plastic piece down here. It basically has these little nubs that push in through the actual door frame here on these holes right here. And there's some trim, or there's some hardware that actually just pushes around these on the other side of this right here to kind of just helps it stay in place. So I saved those, may or may not be able to reuse them. But I got it all stripped down and I'm gonna wash it really good again and scuff it up, and we'll just see what happens. Basically just spraying some foaming cleaner on there, letting it sit a little bit, scrubbing it with a generic invisible eraser. I believe that's what they're called, something like that. Basically scrubbing it up really good, and then I'm I'm using some regular car wash without wax or anything in it, and I'm using my little washer thingy, sponge, mitt, whatever the hell it's called. I'm just washing it all down, then I'm rinsing it off, giving it a quick dry, and then I'm putting it in front of the fan over here to just let it dry off a little bit, and then we'll be on to the next step of the process. I got these cleaned up pretty decent. This one actually cleaned up pretty well. Can't really tell, my lights are a little lacking, but it actually turned out pretty decent. I mean, you know, all things considered. This is still drying up a little bit. I was thinking about popping this off completely, because that's probably the right thing to do, in the words of Vice Grip Garage, but I'm just gonna ignore that, and I'm just gonna paint this anyways. This isn't really like, you know, a real restoration. I'm just trying to make stuff look good and not be that embarrassed by it, or at least look like I put some sort of effort into it. So that's what we're going for. Here's my super professional paint booth. Probably getting overspray and, well, everything. Nah, it's really not a whole lot. It's just a little spray can, but I got some drop plastic down here. I got some ventilations, and I just put a tiny little coat on there. You can barely even tell I did anything, but I'm gonna do several. I'm gonna probably do 2 or 3 light coats, and then see how it's doing from there. And then if I need to, I'll do another thick coat. There's some of this stuff here that looks like grime or whatever, but it actually, like, upon closer inspection, looks like it's just worn off somehow. So we'll see how that finishes. Hopefully it doesn't look like crap. Woo, I am sweating. It's been about a couple hours. This is the progress. This is what's happening. It actually looks pretty good. There's a couple imperfections that still kind of come through a little bit, and that's due to me being a little bit lazy with the prep work. But I gotta say, this is at least 300% better. I just did a last coat on these pieces also. The color match is just really good. I was a little worried about it, but it looks great. This piece, I'm impressed. It looks great. I mean, it's not perfect, but I wasn't really expecting perfection. This is a little better than, you know, what I was hoping for. Pretty happy with the results so far. There's a lot left to do, so that's gonna be fun. Anyways, that is it for the test painting. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the rest of it like this. I need to order about 6 more cans of this paint though. I was hoping that 1 can would be enough for at least the front 2 door panels, but it's looking like it's gonna be 1 for each door panel plus the other one. So maybe I can get away with like 3. Once I actually get the panels on the car, I'm gonna kind of see how it looks against the dash and everything, but at this moment, I'm really thinking the dash doesn't even need anything. It's looking really good. And I think this is gonna be pretty close. So I might not even really have to do the dash. The dash looks pretty good. It's got some spots here and there, but I think if I could just clean it up a little bit, I might not have to take apart all of it and paint it all up. Okay, so here's a progress update. I have the door panels done. I started on the visors, and I still have the rest of the interior to do. So I previously had mentioned I'm going to take all these remaining panels out. Maybe not the kick panel, not really sure what I'm going to do that, or not kick panel, I don't remember what that's called, deck panel, something like that. But yeah, I'm going to take out the rest of these. I guess I'm going to get started on that today, and I'm going to try to get those home so I can start prepping them to get painted. Alright guys, so I started taking apart some of the interior panels in there, as you can see right here. I got the passenger side rear panel taken out. This is the rear deck lid, whatever you call it, panel. It's like basically hard cardboard. And then there's some panels that are, this one's above the passenger window. God, it just looks so bad. If I can use this, I would be surprised, but I don't know. So far I've had pretty good luck. So I guess I'll try it out and see what happens. But yeah, these are all in various states of decay, and hopefully I can reverse that. But what I noticed is actually something a little more alarming, and I can't really say that I'm surprised, but I'm gonna show you guys anyways. So I don't know how I didn't really notice this before. This isn't even the main thing that I'm worried about. This isn't really structural or anything, so I don't really care too much about it. I believe this is where the seat was probably rubbing against the metal, possibly. I don't know if there was like a leaky window situation, or it's just, you know, from sitting forever, but that kind of sucks. But like I said, that's not really my primary concern. My primary concern is all the scaling back in here, as you can see behind the actual framing of the inside here. It's pretty scaly. Again, I don't think it's anything really structurally bad. I've only just begun to peel back some of this stuff, you know, like this might be a lot of work over here. The conclusion that I'm kind of coming to though is I'm gonna just basically pull out the rest of the interior, headliner included, I think, and then I think I'm gonna kind of try to get this car going, and it's just gonna look like a zombie for a while, which is okay. I just wanted this to be a drivable project car, and it's just gonna look a little more for a while. The goal is staying the same. It's just gonna be a little more disassembled for a while than I thought. So what I'd like to do, and I don't know, I don't know if this is gonna happen or not, because it's just gonna be a ton of work. It's gonna have to happen at some point, but I'd like to get this basically completely stripped at some point and just sandblast the entire thing. But I don't know if it's worth doing that right now, or if I should just wait until, you know, a few years down the road when I can maybe afford to do a more in-depth restoration, if you will. Because I don't really have any interest in doing like a frame or like a body off restoration, whatever. I'm kind of bummed out a little bit, but like I said, I'm not really surprised. This car sat for a long time, and it definitely had some moisture going on, you know. It's kind of hard to tell because a lot of it's all sprayed Cordoba brown anyway, so it's kind of hard to tell where the rust starts and where it ends. There's a lot of work to do. I'm probably just gonna leave a lot of this disassembled, and I think I'm gonna go with like a more temporary fix, basically just something that I can make it roadworthy and legal, and I'm probably just gonna leave it at that for a while. I was really wanting to get this to a point where I could reassemble everything and make it look really nice, and I can still do a lot of that. I can still prep the panels in here. I can make it look good, but there's really no point in putting it all back together, you know what I mean? It's like, why put all these really nice looking panels back on top of metal that is gonna need work anyways? And I guess you could argue that it's not that big of a deal to take the panels off, obviously. I think it's actually gonna be harder to put it back on, if anything. I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I feel weird about putting nice stuff back on, you know, crappy metal, but we'll see how I feel about it in several months when I get a little bit closer to getting this thing on the road. Well, I gone and done did what I didn't really want to do, but in the light of what I saw earlier, with some of that surface rust in here. I went and completely gutted everything. Well, you know, minus the dash for now, but I got everything completely out. There's a bolt that is stubborn over there in that little seat belt. But other than that, I got all the panels out. I even took the headliner out. There's a little bit of scaliness up here, but I don't think it's going to be too crazy. There's some stuff going on here that's not super cool, but I'll worry about all that stuff later on. So I got some of the panels over here. This is the other half of the rear panels that I'm going to take home and kind of take care of that. Well, that's pretty much it. I really wanted to end this episode on a high note by having everything put back into here, all painted and really nice looking. But in the recent light of events here, with a little more rust than I was hoping for, I'm gonna have to kind of hold off on putting everything back in. So I'm pretty much just gonna concentrate on the front doors. I'm gonna get that looking decent. I'm gonna hold off on the carpeting, any heat protection, pretty much anything. I'm just gonna get the seat back in here and the steering wheel and pretty much just call it a day, I think, for that. I might end up taking the dash off and painting that too, but it's just gonna be Spartan, it's gonna be Road Warrior, so I'm alright with that for a while. So that's where we're gonna leave off today. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy.